Approaching a new page can be scary or can be exciting for some people. I love to just do the same thing, similar things each time, because it just gets my hand moving, and there are so many layers to mixed media. So I just love to use my right hand, my left hand, which is my non-dominant hand, and make some scribbles. I also like to put some collage down. The thing is, if you know that you haven't got much time, I find that so much better, because you don't tend to overthink things as much. So I just grab a few papers out, and I even like to keep the texture. If tissue doesn't want to go down nice and flat, and I purposely crinkled this one, because when you put another layer over it, it will just come up really nicely. I'm just going to do a nice big piece here. These are just papers I used to create some marks. I think I used a branch one day just to see what it would do, what marks it would create. So it's all about experimenting, not getting too fussed about the outcome. So I like to put something large down the center here. So I'm working in a journal today. This is a journal that I actually created. This is the journal I created for the creative pause. So if you'd like to see what else I did in here, the creative pause is available in the links, so you can go in there and find that. It is something that I worked on for a long time to help people just to really take time out with Heavenly Father. Okay, you can also see that this Stabilo Woody is water active, so it starts to activate with this as well, because this is a water base. This matte gel medium is water based. Now you can use a glue stick, you can use anything. So I'm approaching this as the same as anything else. Like if I was to do a zine, this large zine, that's how I started that as well. And I'm going to come back to that in a minute. I just wanted to show you how simple it is just to get some things onto a page. You don't have to do a lot. How I created this book also comes with a video in the creative pause as well. And I love putting collage over pages because it just helps to reinforce my pages. Also, it's a really lovely therapeutic way of just zoning out and just worshipping with the Lord. I find I just get a lot of quiet moments and just think with the Lord when I'm creating. I've got some tea bags here. If you know people who like to drink tea, or you like to drink tea yourself, just keep your tea bags, and once they're all dried, then you empty out the contents inside. And I have a video on YouTube with this process as well. So they create lovely textures on your page. And there's many things you can do with tea bags. I am just using it as a collage and texture piece today. So I hope you are creating along with me and not being too scared to add something to the page. You don't have to fill the whole page with collage. I just put a few scraps out and trying to use up the ones that I have. Right, I'll let that dry. And this is the zine that I was telling you about, that I started on an A3 sheet of paper, which is double the A4, and I've already cut it into a zine. But I find that sometimes it's not interesting enough, because I get things down and then I come back to them whether I like it or not. I don't know, but what I'm going to do is add a bit of collage to this one as well, because most of my art pieces are a work in progress. So let's add some of this today. This helps to reinforce the pages for the zine as well. So you could really take any piece of paper that you've used, whether you're happy or not happy with it, and repurpose it. I think that's what happened when I started living on the road with little space. I couldn't just keep buying lots of paper. So what I do is I repurpose things that I've had sitting around for a while and I'm not really loving the look of them. I then take them and repurpose them. And at the time, I may have enjoyed the process of making it, and I take in what I have learnt, and sometimes I forget what I've done on them as well. I think this one was done with a lot of the Tim Holtz mica sprays, and I was just probably new to them and experimenting with the colours. And with what I do, I tend to have to pack up everything, so sometimes they get forgotten. It's a lovely sunny day today, so I'll be able to dry all these with the glue. Sometimes matte gel takes a little while, so I try not to use a really thick layer. I'm not going to stick over the line where I have to fold it, but I am putting it over the lines, over the creases, to reinforce the pages. You can see here I've put some fabric as well, and I had some washi tape that I made that I did on that, and you can see a video on how I made the washi tape. And I'll just put a little bit of the tissue. This actually came from a shoebox. I think every bit of paper that comes across our path can be used. What kind of papers do you love to repurpose and rescue? I think if I had the space and opportunity, I'd probably be rescuing every piece of paper and putting it into some form of journal. It's just a matter of time and space. I only work on a tiny space that I share with my husband, and that has to be packed up. I can't leave it out, because when we start driving again, everything has to be packed away tightly so that they don't fly around. All right, that one can go here. And you're probably looking at this going, this is so multicolored. That's okay, because gesso is going over some of this. So you just keep adding to it. Like some days you'll really feel it, and some days you don't. Some days you just want to play, and that's what building a consistent art practice is like. You just got to come back to it and just play and notice things. Notice what happens when you add different colors, different textures, how things are reacting together, how you're liking things, because whatever mood we're in, I think that also comes out on the paper. So I've just added just a normal pencil. I'm just going to make some marks with a Stabilo Woody. have been using my silicone tool. Sometimes the gesso gets stuck to there, but it's easy to peel off. I am using that to spread some gesso in various parts. So this is just how I add layers. Sometimes if you spread the gesso thin enough, you can see what's underneath. And other times I'll leave it thicker to create a bit of texture. You can use white paint or gesso. I like to use gesso. I don't seem to buy white paint anymore because I go through so much of it. So gesso is a multi-purpose. If you haven't used gesso before, most people use it to prime a canvas. Those of us in mixed media, we just use it to make surfaces easier to paint on and create texture, push things back, turn, just lighten up what's in the front. Like if you only want some of this to show through, then we put that on. It just creates a beautiful texture, and when you paint over it, you'll also see what the normal paper does with the paint as well as what's going on for the paint that's on that area as well. So now we're coming back to the journal. That has dried a bit, so we're going to put some gesso on this part. So when you're creating a background or a zine, background to a zine, sometimes we like to complete it all, and other times we just leave it for us to keep coming back to. So it depends on what you want to do. Do you want to have something that's finished and to create a zine from, or do you want to have a zine or a concertina journal that you want to keep working in? And there's no right or wrong answer too. All right, so with that, you can also then use a pencil. You see how that's created lovely texture, and here I crinkled up the tissue as well, the texture that comes through there. You can also use the pencil to make some marks and scratch into what you've just done with the gesso, but remember to wipe it, otherwise it will keep the gesso on there. So I will just clean off what's remaining on my silicone tool, and then that has to all dry.